Are the Washington Commanders going to move up to get Caleb Williams? Or are they going to sit there and take Jayden Daniels or Drake Maye? So we've been hearing a lot of rumors that the Commanders at one point was going to trade back, right? But we know now that we have got rid of Sam Howell. We know without a doubt we're getting a quarterback. And it's seeing as though we don't have Jacoby Brissett, we know we have to get a quarterback. And we all know we don't feel confident that Marcus Mariota can get us to the playoffs. And with that space being there, and the fact that Marcus said he is willing to be a backup and is willing to be comfortable with helping the rookie or whoever we get coming in, it's telling me that, okay, cool. He understands his place and his spot and his position. And seeing as though we only paid him less than $10 million to play with us for a year, I just think that is a sign that we don't want him to be the starter. We want him to be the backup. You're paying him to be the backup. It's the same amount, around the same amount we paid Jacoby Brissett to be a backup for last season. So, I don't see us expecting a lot out of Marcus Mariota besides being a good veteran in the locker room and being a good veteran to call on whenever something happens to the rookie or if the rookie needs more time. But besides that, we have been hearing talks now that the Commanders might move up. We've also been hearing, recently, trades about Terry McLaurin. And I'm like, I don't think that's going to happen. But, mind you, this is not the same general manager, right? This is a general manager who has taken risks at times. And one of those risks being going up to get Trey Lance. And, of course, he was not the final person who had say in that. But he was around the tables. Adam Peters is who I'm talking about. But he is one of those people that were involved in that process, and who knows how his mind is right now. Who knows what he feels or is willing to do besides Dan Quinn and everybody in his camp. So it just believes me to think that Adam Peters may be a risk taker in a way. But we don't know just yet. From what he's done so far in free agency, he's done a very great job. He's been doing comfortable moves, not too risky, not too much money, just enough. And then he's doing enough to keep the team afloat and to, allow us to still look competitive, to at least allow us to make it into the playoffs. If we can get somebody in a great position, we might end up like the Texans was last season. We might end up with a CJ Stroud, somebody who was able to transition very well into the NFL. But once again, I always say it all goes back to the system that they're around, how fast they develop, how much they're able to handle, how are they able to handle different coverages on defense, and so on, right? And the fact that we have Caleb Williams, who is from this area, right? Went to high school here, grew up here, and then he decides to go to a college that is on the other side, right? And none other than Lincoln Riley as his head coach, right? And then he plays with Lincoln Riley for a year. He plays with Lincoln Riley for I believe it was a year, and then he went to play 2 years with USC. Yep. So, I'm talking about Caleb Williams. So he plays with Lincoln Riley 1 year, and then Lincoln Riley goes to USC, and then he plays with Lincoln Riley again, right? And then the second time he plays with Lincoln Riley at USC, he has Cliff Kingsbury with him, right? So what we get from that is that Caleb Williams feels comfortable with working with Lincoln Riley, right? So now he goes out and take a risk and going to USC because he doesn't want to be a backup. He doesn't want to have to work too hard for that starting role because he understands that the coach trusts in him, believes in him, and understands that, okay, you're here, you're the guy, you were the guy when I was at the other school, I want you to be the guy here. So he believes and trusts in him, right? And I would feel the same way if I went somewhere and I wasn't comfortable with anybody else. I would want to go to the person that believed in me, which was Lincoln Riley at the time. So then he now goes to the NFL. Who does he know? Who is he more comfortable with in the NFL? And he has the opportunity, right, to play with a certain person, which was Cliff Kingsbury, right? Stay with me. I'm sure you've heard it before, but I'm just thinking, right? Caleb Williams has the opportunity to play with the same person that he is comfortable with playing with, that he just played with a few months ago in USC, which is Cliff Kingsbury, right, as his offensive coordinator. And Cliff was supposed to go to the Raiders, right? And the Raiders don't have the first overall pick. They don't have the second overall pick, right? That's not saying that they won't jump up to get it. But right now, in this moment, they do not have it, right? Nobody's willing to give it up. Commanders right now are not willing to give their pick up, and the Bears are not willing to give their pick up, seeing as though they just got rid of Justin Fields. So that leads me to think that Cliff Kingsbury and Caleb Williams plan to reunite, right, in the NFL. And of course, this may seem far-fetched to think, but you got to also think, this is a person I know, right? I know this person. Think about it. When you're on the team, the coach has your number. The coach knows your family members. The coach and you communicate often, right? You have those talks. You have those conversations to where you understand how you feel every week, every time you play a game, your weekends, when the off season is here. You talk, you communicate, you know each other's feelings. Lincoln Riley knows how Cliff feels. He probably knew what Cliff was going before Cliff even got there, right? Before the media knew what Cliff was going or what Cliff was about to do, he probably talked to Lincoln and said, yo, what should I do? You know? And then Lincoln said, you know what? You know, Caleb about to come out. Caleb about to be there. And he going to go, I've been hearing, everybody's been saying it, that he's going to go first overall, right? So why not go to a team where I know I can get him, right? And of course, we know that is a huge stretch for us, seeing as though the Bears are going to want something very needed. They're going to want something that we going to also need to give up something that they really, really want. We got to make a great offer in order to get that first overall pick, right? And seeing as though we're in a comfortable spot, the Raiders could still, not the Raiders, my bad, the Bears could still decide to give that pick to somebody else. But seeing as though they need a great quarterback, why would you give that opportunity up? Why would you give it up? Because that's something that I would have never done. I don't see them moving past the Bears. I don't see the Bears moving past Caleb Williams because they got rid of Justin Fields. If they kept Justin Fields, right, then they would probably give up the pick to like maybe the Patriots if they needed it, or the Vikings if they needed it, right? Or back before they even got Kirk Cousins, the Falcons would probably have done that. But I'm just thinking, like, just think about it, like. It could happen, right? They could say, you know what, let's go with Jayden Daniels, the Bears. But I don't think it's happening. I think they want Caleb Williams. But it's so much going on to where people are trying to shift the narrative and make us feel like, okay, maybe Caleb might go to the Commanders. But what is the Commanders willing to give up? Who do we have that we can give up? Who do we have that we want to give up? We don't want to give up Terry, right? He's the best thing we had on this team in the last few years, right? And he's shown year after year, no matter who throws in the ball, he can do that thing. And he can consistently get 1,000 yards, right? He's done it in the last 4 years. So why would we give him up? He's our best asset on offense. He's the best person to help a rookie come in and have a reliable person to throw to. Then, who else do we have? We're going to give up Daron Payne, somebody we just paid? No. We're going to give up Jonathan Allen? Maybe. We might have something there. But is that going to be enough? Is that going to be all they want? Just for the overall first pick, right? What if they want Jonathan Allen, and then they also want a first-round pick next year, and then they want a 2 and a third or 2 2s, or what if they want a lot that we're not willing to give up for just to move up one spot when you have somebody that is still close or probably even better than Caleb Williams by picking Jayden Daniels, right? And some could say Drake Maye, but I'm not looking towards no Drake Maye. I'm not. I don't know. I'm one of those people, let's get the best thing. Let's get the best thing we need. And that best thing could be Caleb Williams or it could be Jayden Daniels. But these rumors really make us feel like the Commanders could possibly get him. But we don't have much to give away. We don't have much to really aid in, you know. And then my whole thing is we already just gave him somebody that we needed, which was Montez Sweat. So what more can we give? We ain't got nothing else we can give. You see what I'm saying? And then to somebody as good as Montez Sweat, we gave that man up for a second, right? A second pick, right? I believe it was a second for him. I could be wrong, and it could have been a second for Chase Young, but I think Chase Young went for a third. But a second for Montez Sweat, and he was good. What do you think they're going to get with Jonathan Allen? So my thing is, right now, I don't see it happening. But because of who Adam Peters is and the organizations he has worked in, he's not scared to take a risk. You feel me? So, the best thing we can do is just wait. But in my opinion, we not moving up and we not moving back. We're going to take who we can take. If the Bears don't want to go with Caleb Williams, we're getting him. If they do go with him, Jayden Daniels. Let me know how y'all feel about this situation. You think we should move up? And if we move up, who we giving up? Who? And if we do move up, what happens when Caleb Williams does not perform the way we wanted him to perform? And once again, like I said before, Caleb Williams and Cliff Kingsbury and Lincoln Riley, they probably already talked multiple times and told each other what was going on and tried to see if they can link up in the NFL. Even though we know Lincoln Riley is not going to be there. But, yeah, let me know how y'all feel about the situation. I'm out.